Good evening, everybody. I don't know what can I say. The only thing I can say is I thought I won the fight, and secondly, all I can say, I love people of Cuba. I would love to fight here again next time, so I can't say much. Thank you.
Bueno, primeramente, darle las gracias a la gente de Quebec por el apoyo y decirlo de la pelea, que estaba ganando mi pelea hasta quinto, séptimo round, de que comenzaba a botar sangre por la nariz y me dio un cabezazo. Ya yo prácticamente me descontrolé, ya no veía del ojo, ya estaba peleando con un solo ojo. Entonces pelear con un solo ojo y con un rival tan fuerte como Ali, se me hacía incómodo poderle llegar. No creo, como él dice, que él ganó su pelea.
He wants to thank the people of Quebec for supporting him here tonight, and he felt that he won the first 5 to 6 rounds until he got headbutted and got the cut above his eye, and then couldn't stop the bleeding, wasn't able to see, and lost a bit of control over the tempo of the fight. Even though he says he doesn't feel like he completely lost it and that Funeka won like he claims he did.
I mean, I think regardless, obviously each guy thought he won, and there are probably differing opinions of who won, who lost, and if it was a draw out there. But I think one thing everyone can agree on, I mean, it was a great fight. The crowd, really went crazy. Both guys gave it their all. I think most people in this room would agree that they'd probably want to see the fight again if they could, because it was, there was good action back and forth within rounds, but round to round. So, overall, it was a great fight. I don't think we can deny that. And both these guys deserve a lot of credit for laying it on the line like they did.
Do you have any confidence that they'll have a rematch?
One at a time.
Judging by the crowd reaction at the end, isn't this the worst scenario possible for the end of this fight?
I mean, the worst scenario possible. It's it's an objective thing. Depends who you ask. For this guy who thought he won, yeah, it was the worst thing possible. For this guy who thought he won, it was not the worst thing possible. Worst thing possible is when you think you win and you lose, but it was a draw. So no one won, no one lost.
My question is for Mr. Funeka. Earlier this year you lost to Nate Campbell, then there's a draw today. Is it harder for you to the draw?
As I said earlier, that right now, at this point in time, I can't say anything about this fight, and I thought I won the fight. That's it.
Any other questions?
Well, actually, they were fighting for a vacant title.
Correct.
So, would they be next in line for a second shot at it?
And that's up to the IBF. I mean, the IBF will mandate what happens next. They'll say whether or not they fight immediately. If there's going to have to be a box off, they'll dictate if there's a rematch. Any other questions?
Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres questions?
¿Piensas que peleaste bien esta noche o podría ser mejor?
Bueno, yo estoy abierto y más ahora, y que ya yo vi lo que tenía, y si no fue así por la cabeza que me dio, yo había ganado mi pelea. Yo estoy abierto, si volvemos a pelear, yo no digo que no. En ningún momento me han puesto rivales y yo he dicho no, con ese no. El rival que venga, el mejor del mundo, libra por libra, quien sea, Guzmán está aquí, Guzmán no niega peleadores, y se vengan. Si Funeka quiere la oportunidad de nuevo, Guzmán está ready. Floyd, Pacquiao, cualquier peleador, Guzmán está ready. Pasa que esta noche no pude, pero estamos aquí y Guzmán sigue on the field.
The question was, would he like a rematch with Funeka? And he said he would take it. He's open to any fights, whether it's with Funeka or with Pacquiao, Mayweather, anyone at 135, 140. He's never turned down a fight that has ever been offered to him and won't do that.
I want to introduce Gary Shaw, who is Ali's promoter. He just wanted to say a few words.
Bonjour, everyone. Hello. I'm sorry I missed the beginning of the press conference. I don't know what was said. I have a lot of respect for Juan Guzman. I know him a long time. He didn't win this fight tonight. He shouldn't talk about fighting Pacquiao or Mayweather because he didn't beat Ali Funeka today. He was robbed. Ali was robbed. If I didn't know better, if I wasn't around boxing this long, I would think the fix was in. There's no one in Canada and there's no one in the United States that didn't think Ali Funeka won convincingly. I don't know, the IBF tells me the Canadian Commission appointed the judges. The Canadian Commission told me the IBF appointed the judges. I've been around boxing a long time. I'm a good loser. If my fighter loses, I accept it. But I want my fighter to lose the fight. I don't want my fighter to get robbed. There's no way. I gave Guzman 4 rounds. I gave him 2 of the first 6, 3 of the first 6, and I gave him the 7th round, personally. And I don't know what to say. It's unfair for someone to come here from South Africa or anywhere in the world and not get a fair decision. And it makes me think twice. Dawson is the mandatory for the winner of Pascal and Diakonau. And it makes me think twice about bringing Dawson to Canada, and that's not good because Quebec is a great city, Montreal's a great city, this arena was great, the Bell Center is terrific, they're all good people, your fans are terrific, but it has to be a fair decision. And tonight, it wasn't a fair decision. And this young man who fought his heart out, that should be going back to South Africa with the IBF belt, is not. And that's wrong. And as I said, I have a lot of respect for Guzman. I know him personally a long, long time. And I know his team. But they did not win tonight. I thank you very much.
Any questions?
I have a question for you, Mr. Shah.
Sure.
So who is responsible, according to you, for this rob that you claim?
Oh, I don't know, because when I asked the IBF, they told me the Canadian Commission appointed the judges. When I asked the Canadian Commission, they told me the IBF appointed judges. So I don't know. I know one thing. I've been around boxing since 1971. I've seen, I don't know how many fights in my life. And if we would have lost, I would have gotten up here, I would have congratulated Guzman, said, great fight, you won the fight. Hope we get a rematch, hope we get a chance again. But what they saw tonight was not a draw. It's impossible. Your own fans booed and didn't say a word. They were in shock.
You're talking that you're like scared to like bring a fight in Quebec, but none of the judges had any ties with any of the boxers, so there could not have been any favoritism.
Well, Interbox was the co-promoter with Golden Boy. We just came. We lost in a purse bid. I'm not saying Interbox did anything illegal. I know the people from Interbox very well for a very, very long time. And I know the people from Golden Boy. I was out with them last night. I'm telling you, he didn't get a right decision from the 2 judges, whoever they were appointed from. And I assume they were Canadians. For fights like this, there should be 3 neutral judges from 3 places that neither fighter is from. Look, the United States judge, and Guzman lives in the United States, the United States judge gave it to Funeka.
But they were, neutral judges. Like, they were Montrealers or Canadians.
I'm sorry?
Like, the judges were Canadian judges, so they were neutral.
No, they're not neutral. If Interbox is the promoter, they're not neutral. If I'm the promoter and you put 3 United States judges, it's not neutral. Any other questions?